We've all been there, right? You wake up, you see that long to-do list, and you have absolutely zero motivation to tackle it. So in this explainer, we're going to build a simple system for real life, one that works on your best days and, way more importantly, on those days you're just not feeling it. We're talking about making real, consistent progress without having to wait for some unreliable burst of inspiration. It's like being stuck in quicksand, isn't it? You know exactly what you need to do, but the energy, it just isn't there. And look, this isn't about being lazy or not having ambition. It's just a total disconnect between your goals and how you feel in the moment. And that feeling, it can completely derail your entire day before it even starts. And before you know it, the hours just melt away in a blur of scrolling and little distractions. Then, as the day ends, you make that all too familiar promise to yourself. Okay, tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be motivated. Tomorrow will be different. But will it really? Because so often, tomorrow comes and it feels exactly like today did. It's this incredibly frustrating cycle that can make you feel like you're constantly falling behind, while it seems like everyone else is just breezing past you. So what's going on? What's the secret they know that you don't? Well, here's the truth. The problem isn't you, it's your strategy. We've all been taught to just wait for motivation to strike, like some lightning bolt of inspiration out of the blue. But motivation is as unpredictable as the weather. I mean, you wouldn't plan your entire life around a forecast for a sunny day, so why would you plan your success around a feeling that comes and goes? So really, you've got two paths. Over on the left, there's the passive approach, just waiting, scrolling, hoping for a spark. But on the right, you've got the proactive approach, building a system. And this, right here, is what successful people actually do. They don't sit around waiting for motivation, they create it through their actions, with a system that works no matter how they feel. Okay, so how do you build a system that actually works for you? That's what we're diving into now. We're going to put together a simple daily framework that's designed for the real ups and downs of life. I promise, by the end of this, you'll have a practical plan you can start using tomorrow. This right here. This is the single most important mindset shift you can possibly make. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. We've all been taught to wait until we feel motivated to start something, but the reality is the exact opposite. You have to start in order to feel motivated. The spark comes from the doing, not from the thinking about doing. So how do you put that into practice? With something called the 2-minute rule. It's simple. The goal is not to complete the task. The goal is just to start. You just commit to 2 minutes of action. That's it. Open the document, read one page, do one push-up. You'll be absolutely amazed how often that tiny little start is all it takes to build momentum that carries you forward. All right, let's get down to brass tacks. We're going to turn this whole concept into a practical daily plan. We're officially moving from theory into action, with core tactics you can use every single day to build real consistency and momentum. Look, a productive day needs some structure, but I'm not talking about a rigid, suffocating schedule. Instead, think of it as having 3 anchors. These are just non-negotiable moments that ground you, reset your focus, and keep you on track, especially when the day gets a little chaotic. So let's break down how these anchors work. Your morning anchor is all about setting a calm, focused tone. Instead of grabbing your phone, you just hydrate, take a few deep breaths, and set one clear intention for the day. Then there's the midday anchor. This is your secret weapon against that afternoon slump. Just a few minutes away from your desk, a little fresh air, and asking what's next can totally reset your brain. And finally, the evening anchor helps you close the loop. You reflect on what you did, you plan for tomorrow, and you consciously let go of the day's stress. You know, we've been taught to measure our productivity in hours, but that is a huge mistake. 8 hours of distracted, fragmented work doesn't even come close to what you can get done in 3 hours of deep, focused effort. Your brain is a muscle. It can only maintain peak performance for about 60 to 90 minutes at a time. So you gotta work in focus blocks, not these long, draining stretches. We all have a golden hour, that time of day when our minds are the sharpest and most creative. Your job is to identify your peak hours and then guard them with your life. This is not the time for meetings or random emails or busy work. This is the time you reserve for your most important, high-impact tasks. If you squander this time, you'll spend the rest of the day just playing catch-up. Procrastination, at its core, is usually just a battle of convenience. We do what's easy and we avoid what's hard. So rig the game in your favor. Add friction to your distractions. Literally put your phone in another room. And remove friction from your good habits. Lay out your gym clothes the night before.
Just make the right choice the easiest choice.
So, all these tactics are the what of productivity, but the why is just as important. In this section, let's talk about the mindset that really fuels long term progress. Because honestly, without the right mindset, even the best system in the world will eventually fall apart. This right here is the heart of it all. We spend so much time chasing perfection, waiting for this ideal version of ourselves to show up. But that person doesn't exist. Real progress is made on the messy, imperfect days. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it and just doing what you can with what you have. That's where the magic really happens.
We think of discipline as this superhuman level of willpower, but it's not. It's about preparation. It's really just the simple act of deciding in advance. When you make a decision before you're in the heat of the moment, you completely eliminate that internal debate. You don't have to rely on willpower. You just execute the plan you already made.
And this is so important. This is not a one-size-fits-all solution. Your life, your energy levels, your priorities, they're all unique to you. The goal isn't to perfectly copy someone else's routine. It's to build a system that actually fits your life, supports your goals, and feels authentic to you. Okay, so how do you make this whole system a lasting habit? Well, let's be real, you're going to have off days. Everyone does. The secret to long-term success isn't about perfectly avoiding setbacks. It's about having a plan to get back on track as quickly as possible when they happen. So when you inevitably fall off track, this question is your lifeline. Don't get bogged down in everything you missed. That's a surefire recipe for overwhelm. Instead, just ask yourself this. What's the smallest possible step I can take right now to move forward? Do that one thing, and boom, you're back in the game. All right, here's your challenge. Start small. Please do not try to overhaul your entire life overnight. Just choose one anchor, morning, midday, or evening. Pick one. Build it into your day tomorrow and just see what happens. That one small, consistent action is the first step toward real lasting change.
At the end of the day, this journey isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about the small, consistent steps you take every single day. So stop waiting for motivation to strike. Build a system that works for you and just commit to showing up one day at a time. That is how you build a life of purpose and real achievement.